Plastic model builders, welcome back. We are now doing our review of the finished F-102A Delta Dagger. It took us long enough to complete it, but here it is, as you can see. Let's get to talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, first off, this model comes in a bunch of various sections to put it together. You've got your fuselage area right here, your top wings, and of course, your bottom wing area. You will have your nose cone that needs to go on here, these two pieces in the back, and of course this right here, your little engine nozzle. Now the hard part, all of your missile area, the doors. This model, the real plane won't have missiles. I didn't know any better. That's okay. I put them on and you can see how much of a pain in the butt these are to do. We also have our doors, our wheels, which not too hard. The hardest part was the shock. You have to bend that into place. Things happen. We make it look pretty because it's model making madness. So we will start with the missile bay. So you have to at least put in the rails first. Now the rails are 6 rails, 3 exactly alike up front and 3 of the back. The back are easy, they're one piece. The front are 3 different pieces. And they are not the easiest to put together, to at least say the least. They're a bad fit, you have to make them work. The slots to put them in are just little circles, as well the pieces themselves have pins. So it's not easy to get into the model and to keep them glued down. You have to have patience and you have to work slowly. Putting on the missiles, you might want to put them on first. Before you put any of those in, it would probably be best to put in some decals that go all along the inside. You see we got some right here and some on the inside here. And of course, decals that go all along this part right here. That's just how it is. The wheels, they are flat, so this plane sits wonderfully like so. Be careful of this tip. I broke the very tip of mine off already. I didn't bother gluing it on. Shh, no one else is going to know but you. Maybe some other people. The decal on that was supposed to be for the tail hook, which is over here. Instead, I wrapped it around the front of this rather than doing a bunch of striping. Figured it was easier. This is the acrobatic plane from the Deuces Wild. It is an acrobatic team in the Wisconsin Air National Guard that competed in the William Tell Classic, whatever that is, in 1979, as indicated on the fuel tanks on the sides. You could see that right there. Good stuff. The missile bays, the doors, they were not easy to put on. We'll show you that right here. So you have 2 sections of these. Each one goes into a certain spot. You have to glue on a little tab right there. The ones on the side, you have to bend them in to stay in place. They're not a perfect fit. You got 4 doors basically you have to do, and you have to make sure you put them in the right spot. So make sure you do that. As you can see, I didn't do too good a job right here. I didn't bother correcting it because no one's going to see it but you, just a couple hundred viewers, maybe 1, maybe 2, I don't know, I'm probably over exaggerating. Either way, this is the model. We've got the red paint on there, which you have to make sure you put in the right spots. As you can see, this is how it goes on the wings. Also goes on these little side, I know they have a name, and forgive me, these right here, I don't remember the name. It's on both sides, on here and on the opposite side, so you have to make sure you do that well. On top right here, you see it's tan on top, but on the underside, it's red. The insides of these are also red. These were originally chromate green, but I changed them based on the pictures that I saw. I wanted them to look really, really good. So, you know, sometimes I care, sometimes I don't. Welcome to the dark side, right? Yeah, that's how we roll. This right here is a decal. You can paint that on if you prefer. You have to poke a little hole in for the little screeny thingy radar. I don't remember what that's called. Sue me yet again. I'm sure somebody will correct me, and when you do, I appreciate it. Thank you. You just got to pop that in. It's a different color. I did this to show you how this model can look if you use with supplied versus doing it with all paint. So supplied, I probably should put a gloss coat on there because mine's not really gloss. Otherwise, it might turn out glossy. Everything looks kind of flat. Maybe I should go back and correct that. I don't know. Lots of decals all over the plane. As I said, many decals on the inside of the missile bay doors. And like I said, we have our wheels, which you have to bend this little piece right here. It's facing one way and you got to basically bend it before you put it on. I made that mistake of trying it a couple ways. So don't do that. Bend it first, then put it on, let it dry, then glue it in place. This is what you have. Landing gear. It was a little unclear how it went, but we got it all figured out. So overall, not a bad build. There was a seam that was on this plane that goes all the way down the middle. And then one right here. This nose cone, that's a separate piece. So make sure that you just put that on after the fact. Makes it a lot easier. Spray paint the model, then put on the cone. Cleaning this edge up right here where the wings met was not too difficult. It was a fairly good meet to begin with. You know, make it look good. That's right. No new taxes, not gonna debt. Anyway, if you know what that is, kudos to you.
Here is the top of the plane right here. Wonderful tail. You can see that lovely titanium buffer that we've got going on. So let's go on down the side of this plane right on the top, and we are going to show you the seam right down the middle. I did a fairly good job of covering this up. I don't always do it, but this time I did. So that's a seam. I'm going to move up to the wing. We're going to show you a little landing light right there. This is a decal. You can paint it red. There's one that's green on the other side. Here's the cockpit area. You can see where I painted black on the nose cone, and right here is where it's just a decal on the sides, and right there where the windshield is, you know, that little radar or whatever doohickey. I can't remember the name. I know people hate that. Anyway, let's look at the rear of this jet. You could see that needs touching up right there on the engines and the sides of those. You might need to put a little bit of like putty or something. It's right there by the brakes. So here is a side view. We have the rear of this plane once again. You can see that titanium, how that's done there. Seam covered up very well. Also, you can see those airfoils, how those are painted underneath and on the sides of that. Get both sides. Now here's this, the intake. I didn't do too good a job doing that white. I tried something new, didn't bother correcting it. So let's look at the underside. You can see the rear again as well. There's the tail hook, just rests on there. A green light we see on the other side. Let's look at the wheel. Right here is the tricky part. You got to bend that thing like I was saying, and there it is. Just fold it over and then put it on. Not the easiest things in the world. You got to go back and pause it, do it. So here are the missiles, and here's that little decal that you need to put in. And the other area is a spot that might need a little bit of touch up, you know, sand it, whatever. And that was the front landing gear with the landing light. So here's the front of the plane. There is the cockpit. Not too much to see. That's pretty much it, and we're just going to show you the side right here. And the next model is the Revell F-18F Super Hornet, the Salty Dogs.
I thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. As always, until next time, see ya.